Once you set out to accomplish a new goal or create an entirely new life for yourself, you have to become a completely different person. Now, this is the fastest way to manifest your desires. It is also what is known as a paradigm shift. So now let's look at it from a completely logical standpoint. You're trying to get something new. You're trying to create a new life. You're trying to accomplish something that you haven't done before. So it would make sense logically that you have to become a new person, right? Because if you think about it, how would you, being the same person, doing the same things every day with the same mindset, same mentality, same group of friends, living in the same place, all of a sudden accomplish something so far beyond what you can comprehend, right? So one of the fastest ways that we can start to reprogram our subconscious mind and change our self-image, because ultimately when we're manifesting something new, a big component of it is our self-image, right? It's our idea of ourselves, how we see ourselves. And chances are you grew up in a middle class household, a middle class neighborhood, or maybe even lower middle class, and your parents also were middle class or lower middle class, so on and so forth, right? So since you were a child, since you were an infant, you saw your parents struggle with bills or just get by or barely make enough to make ends meet or just be comfortable. That's what you saw from the time you were actually inside of your mom's womb. Your ears were working. You could hear everything that was going on. You may not have a strong recollection of everything that was said, but you were listening when you were just a little infant inside of your mother's stomach, and when you were also 3 months old and 1 year old and 2 years old, etc. So your idea and self-image and your paradigm was already being created for you, right? Your life path was already being built for you without you even knowing it. So as I was saying earlier, now we have to literally change the way we see ourselves. And one of the fastest ways that we can do that is, here's one tip: start doing everything differently, right? I mean, literally everything, because typically adults, we are creatures of habit, and I think it's said, I think by the time you're like 35 years old, like your 90% of your thoughts are the exact same. So also, most of you out here watching do the same things every day with the same people every day. So when I say do everything differently, I mean, if you normally buy Crest toothpaste or Colgate, buy a different toothpaste, right? You usually always get the same type of lotion, right? The same toiletries, you wear the same cologne, you buy the same razors, you shop at the same stores, you eat the same meals. When you go to a fast food restaurant, you order the same thing, right? So your mind, it seeks comfort, and as long as you're sending those signals to your mind that we're doing the same thing, it's going to be extremely hard, very difficult to start to make significant and drastic changes in your life, because your subconscious mind, your biological evolution is geared towards comfort and staying in a comfort zone, because comfort means survival. We were cavemen and we were dwelling in the forest and the jungle. Stepping outside of our comfort zone could mean death, because we didn't have the technology or the information to know what was just beyond our little zone, right? So it's a survival mechanism that's literally deeply implanted in us from millions of years of evolution. So we want to start changing everything that we do. And so those are just some of the outward physical things that we can do that's going to start to make an internal change. And then beyond that, now, if you really want to manifest what it is that you want as fast as possible, it's going to be in your best interest to do away with all recreation. And to some people, that sounds like so traumatic and detrimental. It seems like the scariest thing. Yes, that means no TV, no movies, no Netflix, no Amazon, no Instagram, no TikTok, Facebook, none of that. And a lot of you in your head right now are listening to this and going, what? No TikTok, no TV, no music, and that's like a scary thought. The idea of that doesn't even resonate with you. But you have to understand, anytime you're looking towards external stimuli, that is also creating a thought for you, right? Anything you see is a thought. So whatever pops up in your mind, whether you see it or you think it, it's the same thing. And so millions and millions of thoughts or external stimuli, things that you see every day, are also going to start to build your paradigm. They're going to start to shape your mind, your thoughts, your reality. And oftentimes you're looking at so much randomness throughout the day that it's nearly impossible for your brain to start to formulate this new idea of yourself and to create your own life, right? We're so busy looking at the lives of others, whether we're watching a celebrity on TV or on Instagram, we're looking at an influencer or someone we went to high school with. Our minds are getting divided in so many different directions every day. It's impossible for us to focus on our new reality. And if we would just cut off distractions, right, and start to focus, we could easily, our subconscious mind can start putting the pieces together and it can start creating this new reality. But we have so many distractions, and that's what I'm saying. You need to literally do away with the old version of yourself, because it was the old you who literally had to every single night put on a movie to go to sleep, or on the way to work you're listening to the radio, or you got your headphones in and you're listening to Spotify. You realize when you listen to music how you're literally just like diluting your brain and you're sending millions and millions of signals to your mind. How often do you find yourself walking around randomly singing whatever the popular song is out at the time, right? Birds of a feather, or whatever the hit song is of the month. And when you're singing a song, that's just an affirmation. It's a mindless repetition that you're saying to yourself that literally doesn't make any sense, right? Or you're singing a whatever Kanye West song, or it doesn't matter. It's nonsense. So you need to literally, for at least a period of time, I would suggest to start small, 30 days, go on a dopamine detox, social media detox, and start to literally do everything different. You will start to see so much drastic change in your life if you can adhere to this and really, really stick to it. And I get it, it's gonna be hard at first because we are addicted. You're addicted to the food you eat, you're addicted to social media, you're addicted to TV. Most people can't sit still without their cell phone. When's the last time you didn't have your phone in your hand, aside from maybe you were at work and you literally couldn't be on it? But when have you been at home and didn't check your phone for hours and hours and hours, right? It's very seldom. Or go a whole day without looking at your phone. We're addicted to our phones. Spend less time on your phone. Actually, I encourage everyone to go pick up your phone, scroll over whatever and see your screen time, right? Look at your phone usage and see how many hours a day that you're on your phone. I would guarantee you that most of you guys are probably spending well over 5 hours, 6, 7, 8 hours a day just on your phone. And think about it, if you're spending 8 hours a day on screen time, that's a third of your life. 8 hours a day on your phone. And even if you're at 6 hours a day, that's awfully close. That's a quarter. That's 25% of your life spent on your phone. So you need to literally stay off your phone if you want to manifest. Because mindlessly scrolling is literally deprogramming the perfectly functioning supercomputer of the subconscious mind. Because literally our mind is tuned a certain way, right? We have certain chemicals in our brain that our brain creates, and that's to help us manifest. It's to help us achieve goals, to set goals, and to accomplish them, and to then put these systems in place where we set out to do something, we accomplish it, reward. Set out to do something, accomplish it, reward. Now we have cell phones, which just overloads that dopamine reward system. Meaning every time you see a picture, every time you hear a ding, a bell, even when you get an email, it's little signals, little chemicals are getting released in your mind of dopamine and serotonin. Now it's so subtle and imperceptible, but understand you pick up your phone 300 times a day, you're gonna overload those chemicals. And that's why now you're low vibration, you're low energy, you're depressed, you're comparing yourself to other people. You think you're gonna be able to manifest in that type of a mindset, in that type of a low frequency, when you don't feel good, when you're just bored and scrolling on your phone? You know there's not even anything interesting on there at some point, and you're still just scrolling on TikTok for hours, or just watching nonsense on YouTube. So you need to literally become a completely new person. Do everything differently. Do away with the recreation. Don't go out with your friends for 3 months. That's not gonna kill you, right? If you spend 90 days at home focusing on something, reading, writing, doing meditations, working on the new goal or the new business idea that you had, you're not staying consistent. That's also a new characteristic you need to adopt. Consistency, right? There's all these new principles that you need to start to build up to become a new person that's going to be able to manifest what it is that you want. And the sooner that we can start to do everything differently and start to do away with our past, the sooner we will start to create the reality that we want. It was not until I literally decided to go into straight reclusion, right? Straight seclusion, then I was finally able to manifest what I wanted. I was in a 3-year relationship. I had to end that relationship. I had to literally cut off my best friend at the time, my friend of more than 10 years. You know, he was not in alignment with what I was trying to do in my life, you know, at the time. So I had to literally remove myself from that friendship. I had to literally end a relationship. I had to go celibate for 9 months. I had to literally cut myself off from the outside world. Understand, when you're doing these, making these sacrifices, you're trading your life. You're trading your life for this new reality. So it seems extreme, it seems dramatic, but that's why you need to have faith. Because if I told you right now that, hey, if you stayed in the house for 1 year straight, don't go out, don't party, don't watch TV, don't listen to music, and at the end of that year, I'm gonna give you $3 million. Would you do it? If I guaranteed it, right? If I had a blank check with your name on it that said you could cash it on this day, and you knew it was the funds were guaranteed, the bank told you, yeah, we're gonna release this money to you on X date, and you couldn't do all that stuff I mentioned, would you do it? Without a doubt. You would literally, you would actually have fun doing it. You would be in the house, literally not listening to music and not watching TV, just stoked thinking about, ooh, what am I gonna do with this $3 million? What am I gonna do with all that money? That's the mentality that you need to have before it comes. That's why faith is such an important component in your life. Because once you start to understand the spiritual laws, you understand the God law, you understand God is working through you and in you, and by you doing these acts and activities and taking these certain steps and doing all the right actions, understand that that is going to bring you positive results. So you need to have a faith in it, right? You need to know that by you doing X, Y, and Z, your desires are going to manifest. So you need to literally do away with the old you, kill the old version of yourself, bury it, put it aside, transform, right? Be renewed, be restored, be reborn. That's why we always hear in spiritual texts about a spiritual rebirth. It's in the Bible, it's in so much mythology, right? The phoenix goes to the sky and transforms, the carp goes upstream and turns into a dragon. Jesus died and he was resurrected. That's a metaphor, guys, for killing your old self and coming back spiritually reborn, right? Renewed. So anyway, I don't want to drag on too long with this video, but I just want to let you know that it's time for you to make these significant changes. Don't be afraid to make the change. Don't be afraid to make the sacrifice. Don't be afraid to do away with the stuff, you know, detach from all the stuff that you were comfortable with, right? Because you're not that person anymore, and you have new, bigger, and higher aspirations in sight for yourself. And I want you to accomplish those things, but it's going to take a sacrifice on your part. You're going to have to pour into those goals and lean into those new ideas and visions of yourself, and spend time with the vision, spend time with the new idea of who you want to become and the things that you want to have. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I will see you later.